What will it take to get things moving in your life? It could be to do with buying and selling a house, could be to do with buying and selling a car, or getting a new computer. But I just want to keep to today's theme, which is buying and selling houses. Now, these are investments, and these are massive things. It's part of the Maslow's hierarchy, and the fact that your home, your roots, where you live, is so important to you. So what will it take to get that moving in the right direction? I came across something that was just phenomenal in allowing me to get things moving and shifted my whole perspective and shifted my whole life. So now that personally, I don't move a muscle unless I've spoken to the thing that I want to sell, the thing that I want to move into. So for example, I speak to my house, I speak to my car, and I'm very aware that everything around me is energy. Therefore, it is conscious. It has a consciousness, and it is a reflection of me. And of course, if you're living in a house that you've enjoyed and it's kept you safe, it's put a roof over your head, it's given you foundations, warm and cozy, a dry space, somewhere to raise your kids, it is very much part of what you would call part of your family. So it's really part and parcel of everything that you kind of exude. It takes on a little bit of your personality. It really enjoys housing you. It's really part of the team. So when you want to move out of something and change it, and maybe it's because of a breakup of a relationship, or you want to move to a better place, or there's so many different reasons, you can engage in with that thing, your house, and find out what it wants from you, what's your part in this whole process. And not just to do with your house, but then it goes on to every single thing that you do. And this is practical magic. This is amazing magic at the end of your fingertips when you understand how all of this works together. It's integrated, so like your business is integrated with you, your house is integrated with you, your garden, your neighborhood, whatever it is that you want and you wish for. It's all conscious, and you can talk to any of it. I mean, I'm pretty nuts. I talk to my car, I talk to my house, I talk to my garden, my plants. We've all heard of animal communications. I talk to my body. This is another practical magic episode that I want to share with you. So everything is energy, and it's alive and it's conscious. So for example, I learnt that I needed to communicate with whatever I was engaging with, whatever I wanted to change, and actually show it. Ask for help. Ask what it is that I really wanted. Did I know what I really wanted? So it wasn't until I was sort of in a situation where I needed to move out of the house that I was in. I had two boys, I was single, and I had to sell the house that I was in, and I had to move into another house. It was massive. They do see that moving house is one of the most stressful things that you can do. But what if you can do that effortlessly, with effort and ease and grace? And this is what I'm talking about when you are soul assisted, when you are talking out loud, you are vibrating, you are expressing exactly what it is that you want, so that telepathically, soul to soul, this particular item that you're looking at moving out of or moving into gets you, picks you up, and can put something right in front of you. So the bad thing is, I never asked. I never used to ask for help. I never used to ask for anything to go in my direction. And I wasn't clear about what I wanted. In other words, things would just have to sort of land, and I would have to accept that that's what they were. Now, the good thing is you get to know now that you can ask, what is it that I want instead? And I want some help with this, please. Please help me make this go smoothly, feel effortless, with ease and grace. So whatever it is, like, I want to have fun, I want to be able to do this, and what are all the things that you want to be doing in the next place that you go to? You can practically visualize it, but the most important factor is that you feel it. Your soul, energy, consciousness works on a vibration. So it's going to be picking up the vibrations that you send out so that it can match it with, partner you with your house, with whatever it is that you're looking for. So the first thing, the first step, you have an intention to move. So you really need to be able to step out of the way of all of that and just become neutral. One of the best techniques I have for this is called the trust technique, and it's an animal communication way, and it's just you listen to the noise in your ears. It's like an inanimate noise that just, maybe it's like white noise or something like that, but you tune into that so you're not in your overthinking, panicking, chaos, busy head. Tune into that. Maybe you can reflect on something with a soft gaze. You know, like those pictures that change, you have to sort of soften your gaze on something right in front of you, and you can do this anywhere you are. Get out of the way and come into neutral. It's like when you drive a car, you've got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth now. Come into neutral. Now that's a place when you're not in gear, so you're just inside. So you can just listen for a minute, listen to your breathing, listen to your heartbeat, listen to what your body's saying, how it feels to be in your body. This is where you discover what it is that you want, you really, really want. So for example, you can start asking about how many rooms you want, where you want to be located, what the garden wants to be like, or the balcony, who you want as your neighbours. Are the friends for your kids? Do you want a friend that lives right next door? What colour do you want the paintwork? How many bathrooms do you want? Do you want some projects to do with the house? Do you want to build an extension, a studio? Do you want to have a garage? This is when you put all the details in, and sometimes we just don't ask for that. We just go, oh yeah, I want a house and it has to be within this price and this price range, and you're not clear about what it is that you really, really want. The second thing is that you really focus on that. So I remember driving along thinking, this is the last time I'm ever leaving this house. I'm driving up to my new house. Everything's empty in the house behind me. I'm moving into this new house. It feels fantastic. It's really focusing on what it is that you're creating. This is the creation zone. This is every time you're driving along in your car, and it just becomes clearer and clearer. Oh gosh, yeah, that would be really nice. I'd really like a nice big tree for the guys to climb in, maybe put a tree house in. Be specific. I was blown away by the long list of things that I wanted to put into my creation of my house. And then looking back when I found the house, I went, oh, tick, 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 tick. But we don't often put so much detail in. The non-physical beings, your helper, your soul, they're looking for the nitty-gritty. They're looking for the details. They're looking for how it feels when you get into that place and you absolutely love it. You can talk to your house. I've got a great story about this, and I'm going to help you understand what it is like to talk to your house. So I've had several houses that I've talked to and said, what is it that you need so that I can sell you? Do you want to be sold? Can you imagine another family living in this house, loving you as much as we do? Talk to your house. Let it know, the same as you do before you go on holiday, and you put your pets in the kennel, or you leave your children with someone else, or you water your plants. Maybe you talk to your plants. I know I do. Like, I'm only going to be away for 2 weeks, but look, you've got loads of water here. Somebody's going to come in and water you. So you're informing all the time your house, the plants, your children, your pets, what's happening. Most of the time kids get really upset when they don't really get fully informed. Even though they're young, they still understand. And I had this lovely story of a couple. They were saying, oh my God, my son is just going crazy. He really, really doesn't want to move. So we had the discussion about it. And I was like, well, have you told him that he can take all his toys with him? She went, oh, I never even thought about that. She said, well, why wouldn't he believe that he can take all his toys with him? I said, because they don't understand the concept of moving. It's just like your body is going to move from this house to another house, but they don't understand at a little age that they can take everything with them that they absolutely love. And from that moment on, as soon as he realised he could take all his clothes, all his toys, all his cars, he was like, oh, okay, well, that's not a problem then. And what I did with my boys when I left the house so that they wouldn't be upset, I let them talk to the house and say, look, say thank you very much for housing us for like 9-10 years and had such a lovely time here. So that they were not going to put the brakes on. They were not going to be the stopping thing to being able to sell this house. I'm Fiona Robertson. I'm a body whisperer. I'm a house whisperer. I'm an agent for your soul and for the soul of your house. Your house has a soul. It is reflecting back to you all the time things that she wants you to pay attention to and be aware of. I was living in my dream home. When I first came to France, this house appeared and it had everything on the list that I wanted. I was like, oh my God, this is my dream home. This is it. This is amazing. It's got the garden, it's got the number of bedrooms, it's in the location, got the view of the mountains. I'm having retreats here. I'm raising my boys here. It's gorgeous. And then there came a time when I needed to move out of this house and sell this house. And I was just like, no way. This house and I belong together. We are one. I want to stay here for the rest of my life. Financially, it wasn't viable. The father had moved on. I had 2 young boys to look after. It was a huge undertaking to look after this house. So it took me a little while to be okay with moving. It took me a little while to get the boys to be okay with moving, to move out of their bedroom to what would be better than this? Could we have a tree house? Could we live by the lake? Could we have some friends right next door? So all these things became something on our want list. We started walking around the lake where we wanted to move and where we wanted to live. And we felt the energy of it. It was like, can you imagine cycling from our house, all 3 of us, going down to the beach on the lake and going for a swim and spending the whole afternoon there. So we were beginning to feel what it was going to feel like living somewhere else. This was us in the creation zone. I even set my sights on a house that I knew was for sale, and I could imagine us coming home after school and settling in and having dinner together and watching a film and playing some games. And the whole energy of the feeling of it was, this was me creating what I wanted. And I said, look, even if it's not that house, this is how I want to feel. Anyway, the house in my eyes was not appearing. And I hadn't quite sold my other house. And I was like, what else do I need to do, house? You know, got into my centre, got into my quiet place of house. What is it that you need from me right now? And she showed me with such a clear precision a whiteboard with black writing on it saying for sale or à vendre, because we live in France, with my telephone number. And that was it. And I was like, that won't work. I live up a street that goes to nowhere, that goes to the mountains, that goes to farms. So I resisted it for a couple of days because my head was going, well, that's not going to work. I'd employed 2 agents for 2 years, massive agents in the vicinity, and I was told to stop dealing with them, to cancel my contract with them, and that we would sell the house on our own. Like, oh, okay. Use this sign, make a big sign, take a white piece of wood, paint it white, and then black stencil the letters on there, à vendre, with your telephone number. And they even showed me exactly where to put the post on the outside of the house, so that somebody driving up the lane, is like a single file lane, into the countryside, into the back end of nowhere, that somebody would see this. So I did that. And I carried on talking to my house, just saying, God, you know, I've had such a lovely time here. I'm kind of sad to leave, but gosh, there might be someone who can come and make you even prettier, who can love you even more. What is it that you would like? What kind of people would you like to move in here? Quiet people, active people? Anyway, I was in the garden about a day after I'd actually put the sign in the garden, and I remember hearing the telephone ring. So I answered the telephone and I went to speak to these people. They were speaking in French. They said, we want to look at your house. Like, oh wow, okay. They said, well, we've just driven past, can we come now? And I'm like, no, you can't come now. So why don't you come tomorrow? So we made an appointment, and they came the next day and they walked around the house, and I was like, in my body I was relaxed. I thought, they really love the house. There was also some massive pieces of furniture and massive pieces of garden furniture, stone garden furniture I couldn't move on my own. And I offered them in, for extra over and above the sale of the house. If you want, you can have that table and chairs and this great big glass cabinet and this great big dining room table and whatever else, I can't remember. There was no other bits and pieces in there as well. And they made an offer that day that they came to look at the house, just by me putting a sign out on the road. So I did it with my soul, myself. I wasn't employing an agent, so I had no agency fees. And in France, the agency fees are quite horrendous. They're huge. So I gained that way. And then as soon as I realised I'd sold the house, I was like, I kind of need somewhere to move to, because in 3 months I'll have got nowhere to move to. So going from stuck to all of a sudden selling the house, I now needed to find a new house. I had a list again of all the things that I wanted. I wanted to be able to have at least 3 bedrooms. The opportunity to build some studios in a garage would be lovely. A black garden with a tree, a laundry room, a kitchen that had sliding cupboards and drawers, because my previous house, they were just not like that. It was the most old-fashioned kitchen ever. What else did I have on there? Oh, I wanted a best friend for my boys to live opposite or next door. I had it that we could cycle down to the lake and we could cycle around the lake, and I could teach the boys to ride their bikes, and we could go swimming in the afternoon at the lake. That people could park outside, but they could also park down in the driveway and things as well. Anyway, this house wasn't coming forwards, and I went to have a look at a house I didn't really like, but then I signed the papers for it that I was going to rent it, because everybody's saying, just rent, Fiona, don't buy. And I'm like, I really love my garden and I like to make things pretty, so I'm kind of helping the house sort of evolve and be pretty as well. So I went and signed the papers, and then as I drove back feeling quite sad and thinking, I've kind of just accepted what was available. I don't really like that house. It's got no heart and soul. I want a house with heart and soul. And I got a message that came through that said, go on that site again and have a look for a house. Have a look for your house. So I had a specific price in mind. Again, like I said, the bedrooms and all the location and everything else. So I went down the site, and there was a little post just writing, no photographs, and I was like, who would put a house on this site, the Bon Coin, the Good Corner, and no photographs? So but it was like exactly the price I wanted to pay, 350,000. It had 3 bedrooms. It had a garden, and they described the trees that were in the garden. I was like, oh, nice, rhododendrons, azaleas, big tree. So I rang the guy and I said, look, I would like some photographs. Immediately he sent me some photographs, and I said, I want to come and see it this afternoon. He said, no problem. Can you come this time when I finish my work? So I drove there that afternoon, and I walked down the driveway and I went, oh, they've got a little lantern like I've got. That's nice. Oh, they've got a nice garden. That's nice. I walked over the threshold and my whole body relaxed. It was like I've come home. So the same sort of feeling that I had when I met my previous house, I was like, this is it, isn't it? This is the house. And I just got this massive yes. Looked around the house. It didn't take me long because it was kind of cute and cozy, and I had 3 bedrooms, and I was like, yeah, I'm very, very happy. And he said, oh, do you want to look downstairs in the garage? I went, oh, yeah, okay. We went down into the garage, and it was exactly the same size underneath as the house above. I was like, ooh, this is interesting. I can build 2 studios down here and I can rent them for my retreats and for holidays, the same as I'm doing in my existing house that I've just sold. Brilliant. Absolutely. And the price was exactly right. We sat down, we had a cup of tea, and I made an offer and he accepted and I bought the house. When you want to move the energy, you have to move the energy in you. What is it that you want more than anything? And talk to the house and kind of say, I know you're out there. I'm looking for you. I'm drawing you towards me. This is how it's going to feel when we meet each other. The same as when you're looking for a partner, or you're looking for a pet, or you're looking for an outfit, or you're looking for a new car or a computer. It's the feelings, it's the telepathy that you're radiating out that matter more than anything. So just be conscious of what you're radiating out there. If you say this house doesn't exist, I'm never going to find it. Can you imagine? I found the house, it had the right price, the number of bedrooms. It had a boy in the same class as my son, right opposite. A best friend for my son to go and play with. And they played and they cycled and they did all sorts of stuff. And, you know, 10 years on, he's still friends with this boy. And we're still friends with the family. It was just such a great place to land. And I believe that it was my soul intervention, because I am soul assisted, and I was brought to this house that just meant so much to me. This for me is practical magic at the end of my fingertips, because I get to create, you get to create what it is that you want more than anything else. All because you know what you want, you know how it feels, and you can broadcast that, you can express that out of you. It oozes out of you because it just feels so damn good. So when you're driving in your car, you're using your imagination and you're playing and you're like, I'm going back to my new house and I'm going to just drop down in there and I'm going to park the car and I'm going to take the shopping in and I'm going to put it in those kitchen cupboards that just all slide drawers and kitchen cupboards that automatically close, and then I'm going to go and sit on the settee and I'm going to watch a series with the boys. We're going to make dinner, going to put them to bed in their own bedrooms, and I've just got a beautiful bedroom in the garden and I can see the builders working on create all of it. This is you in the creation zone, creating your new reality. What if you could shift yourself into that new reality? And it's like when you're driving in your car and you're like playing imagination games, it's like, it's already happened, I'm already there. I'm not in that old house anymore that I loved. I've moved on to something even better, because that was what was exactly waiting for me. I've created a soul assisted school purely for this purpose, to help you run a business and run a life that you absolutely love effortlessly. This is so little effort. And it's easy and graceful and simple. Easy is right, simple is best. Because we don't want to be getting our knickers in a twist when it is something that we want to change, when we want to have something, a different experience in something. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much. I'm so honoured for you to listen to this and tune in and listen to what the stories are of how I've used practical magic to create my new reality with whatever it is that I'm stepping into. It could be creating a new garden or getting some seeds or some plants from the neighbours. All these little things are magical ways of getting things into your experience. Could be like that you want a friend to come with you on a trip because the trip's emotional and, you know, it's difficult to get there and you have to go to the airport. Maybe somebody, a friend of yours, will just turn around and say, I'd love to come with you, we can make a trip out of it. So you bring fun and joy into everything. This is practical magic. I have a 6 weeks incubator where I actually ignite all of these particular aspects every single week to keep you focused. Because you know, the thing that most people don't have with any of this is focus. They just don't know what to to keep focused so that their creation can come closer and closer and closer and closer, and they can see where they are getting in the way. You sometimes are the only thing in your own way because you doubt that you can do it. You take an estate agent or someone like that to do the work for you, and they can never do it as well as you can do it on your own. Ask for help. Ask your soul for help. Ask the energy around you, please help me with this. You are not an island. You are not meant to do this on your own. Life is absolutely awesome when you can sprinkle some magic all around. Look, I've got a magic wand here. When you sprinkle some magic around and you just go poof, that is done. That is awesome. It's finished, it's done, complete. I've moved into my new house and I've got every single thing on the list that I wanted to get. So that's the way we do it. That's the way we change our relationships. That's the way we change how we live. That's the way we change our body, our business, and our beloveds. Honoured again to be here, following what feels good, listening. Like I said before, I don't move a muscle until I've talked and consulted with my soul. Being soul assisted is practical magic. It is the best thing ever. Have an absolutely fabulous week. I'll be back again next Thursday, every single Thursday, with a new episode of Practical Magic and how life can just be effortless, easy, simple is right, easy is best. I'm Fiona Robertson and I am an agent for your soul.